So here's the plan. I'm going to continue excavation here. What that actually means is just digging down to a level. I've got a trench dug through here. I'm going to dig another trench off of here, and then that way I've got a good reference point to work out the exact level right the way across. So I'm going to continue digging out this quarter. There's lots of soil here and it's very hard. Now, in the previous video I hit some rock here with some interesting voids underneath. Still don't know too much about them, but need to concentrate on this area. So I'm going to get smashed into this, and then I'm going to think about designing the stone steps over here. So what I plan to do here, if you can imagine that this surface here is the finished floor level. As you come in through the door, the threshold bottom of the door will be the same level as this with the finished floor. So we'll then come into here. I'll then put a stone step up, which will basically bring it to this level, across here, one step up, and then the next step up, so 1, 2, onto a bigger platform here, will be our quarter turn. So there'll be one step there, and then another step up, and that will in effect bring us up to the next step on here. This will be coming back and sitting on top of the second step. So one step, two step, quarter turn, and then up we go, and maybe another quarter turn at the top. But for now we're going to concentrate on this area, get it dug out. Now I've got to find some stones. Although I did dig some nice big stones out, they're a bit irregular. I've got my eye on a stone that I've used somewhere else for the first step. I've measured it and it's perfect, but yeah, we'll go into that a little bit later. So let's get some hard work done out of the way. Then I'll have a blow and then kind of work out this configuration here. Okay, now before I can tip this, I can't tip it out the front no more because I've got as much stone and clay as I need in that area, so I need to take this round the back and start filling up against the wall once again. I've got some membrane there, I'll talk about it in a moment, take you around now. So before I do that, I just had a quick look round. The weeds are up here. I've had so much rain and sun. I need to do some strimming first, so set the strimmer up, get that trimmed, and then I can carry on dumping this. No need to take it off site. Going to level it all off, and that's a good base for the patio and the hard standing, but can't put any more there because it's full. So let me take you around the back, show you what I mean. Okay, this membrane here, I'm pretty much okay for height here. Now in a previous video we dug down well over a metre. We inserted this membrane all the way along there, right the way down to the other end of the cottages. Now what that does, it stops water ingress into the property. So we're pretty much up to our height here. Obviously all this has got to be trimmed. So I'll probably get rid of a few barrow loads here. Do a bit of levelling off. It's not ideal at the moment because it's wet. Once again it's been raining, sun and rain. So what I think I'll do, get all this trimmed. The main area that needs more earth really is from this corner here right the way down to the other end. So I'll get this all trimmed, and then that way I can put my soil tapering up near the top of that, and that way we'll have a natural fall away from the house with the soil, and that plastic will stop all water ingress. That's the plan. Let's get the strimmer going and get this trimmed. Just went in for a cup of tea, come back out, and it's been pouring down. Okay, right, I'm not going to continue strimming. It's a bit slippery round there. Let's go back into the cottage. I'll show you what else I'm going to do. Okay, we are back upstairs now in the dry. Yeah, we won't go there with the weather. Okay, I've got this section to do now. Now I did decide to keep that little window in the end. I know I spoke about removing it, but I thought, you know, it's been here quite some time. Let's leave it in. I'm glad I did now. So I'm going to frame round that as well. Frame round this one. Basically build the timber framework here so it can accept our new covering. So what I need to do is, with our timber, do the same as I've done here, continue framing around this area. This is the little window that I was talking about. Oh yeah, it's not double glazed, but it doesn't really matter, it's so small insignificant really. So yeah, we're going to frame around there, and then that will be 2/3 of this whole attic space, come bedroom, come bathroom, completely framed out. Now when it comes to doing the top third section, I'm not going to use this, I'm going to use something else, and I'll show you that a little bit later. Okay, let's get set up, get this framed out, and then get back downstairs and find those stones that I need for that step. Got a rough idea where they are, but the other side of the garden, you guessed it, the grass is up here, so I've got to do some strimming. It's too wet at the minute. In the particular area where the stones are, it's a boggy patch of ground basically, and yeah, that wouldn't be fun. Okay, let's get set up and get going. That's odd. I saw her stop working. I'll investigate. It's weird because the laser light's on, but the saw isn't working. Okay, I'm going to trick that because there's power to it. Right, looks like this. Back to the old-fashioned way until I get it sorted. Oh, yeah. Although it's handy to have a laser line and a spirit level, when you're working in these old properties, say for argument's sake this window, it's set in, it's solid, there are some what we call like sight lines, which are grooves around the window. Now when you come to line up your linings, you know, use a set square by all means and everything, but step back and just run your eye down the length of that edge, and then run it down the length of the edge on the window. And that way you can tell whether it needs any minor adjustments. It's always good to have an adjustment tool with you. Yeah, it shows what's going. Spot on. Don't forget, when you use brackets and screws, if you need to do any adjustments, it's simply just unscrewing them, tapping it and moving it about. If you drill right away through the wood with just a screw, then you can start damaging the timber. That's why I like to use brackets in these areas. Let's hope for a break in the weather. Now I've just got a few more pieces of timber to put up in this section. Now I am running low on timber, so I'll have to get my thinking cap on how I can do the opening with the links that I've actually got. And what I mean by that is this. Now normally what I'd suggest when you come to framing either side of a window, you'd use the verticals first and come up off the side level, top to bottom each side like that. I don't think I've got long enough links at the moment, so what I might have to do is maybe go across with the shorter lengths that way and then come down in between with the shorter sections, because I've only got one piece to go top to bottom and really I need two. So yeah, that's one way around it. Sometimes you literally just can't think outside the box. But once I've used everything I've got here, we'll head outside and I'll try and find those stones. You know, those stones that I was going to look for to make the step before I got sidetracked. Started streaming around the back, poured down a rain, same old story. It stopped, so that's encouraging. Anyway, there's some stones out the front to make the step, but it's all buried under grass, so yeah, it's just how it goes sometimes. Right, let's get this done first. Don't help that my saw's broke. Not my hydraulic saw, that never breaks, my electric one. Never mind. Now, an important consideration when you're cutting wood by hand, this sort of wood's got plenty of knots in, so before you make the cut, examine it, make sure you're not going to be cutting through a knot because it can be hard work. If so, maybe flip it around and measure from the other end. This one seems to be okay. Yeah, it can be quite difficult to cut through knots. And also on the saw, if you haven't got a set square, that's set at a 90-degree angle, so use that. That'll give you your perfect angle, straight across. And whilst we're on the subject of cutting with hand saws, as you mark there, saw on there, if you thumb up like that, that side, and then just pull it back, make an incision, not on your thumb, so you got that line. Keep your thumb up, and that way you can safely cut into it. When you're using the hand saw, don't use all your force, just pull it backwards and forwards and let the saw do the work. The harder the force you push behind it, the more chance you've got of it bouncing up. That's why you hold your thumb up like that, to stop that digging into your thumb. So pull it backwards and forwards, minimum effort. That way you'll get a safe clean cut. Now let's see if it fits. I've got the persuader. So before I mentioned that I needed 2 pieces to go either side to frame out the window, these were obviously too short. So what we can do is go that way. One there and one there. And then once we've got them like that, we can now use shorter pieces in between, top to bottom, which I'm sure I've got lying about. Just one way of getting you out of trouble, especially when the shops are shut. Okay, when that happens, do this. Just pop the screw, that slightly protrudes out the other end. That way it make it hold a little bit better. Yep, it holds it. Get a screw in that end before we alter the other end. I've already squared it off with a set square. Oops. I'll probably use some angle brackets in a moment. Just wanted to illustrate how you can get over these problems. See, now I can use shorter offcuts to infill the sides here. That way we've framed around the window with that, you know, having to go and buy some longer lengths. If we want to, we can infill top and bottom. So yeah, that's how I'll get around it. Now another thing that you can do with these smaller windows, if you want to get in maximum amount of light, if you can imagine once that's boxed in, it's quite low here. Now what you can do with the top section, I haven't fixed this in, you can take it up much higher to about there, and then with your material that you're going to use, bring that straight across. Instead of it being down here, you're now up there, and that way it lets in more light into the room. So I may set this a little bit higher. Obviously it means I need longer pieces of timber. I think that's the way forward with these little windows that I'm installing. I've done it in my cottage, in my own bathroom. Raise this up, and then that way it lets in much more light. So that's probably where we're going to go with this. And all I simply do is come off the top, the window opening, spirit level, get it level, both sides. Perfect. That way it's going to let in maximum amount of light, especially when the sun sets and it's lower. We'll get more light into the top of the room. Sounds like there's a delivery outside. Yep, long awaited, something for the cottage. I'll show you exactly what it is once I get back up. Ooh, what we got in here? It's like Christmas Day. Okay, I think I know what they are. Right, give me a moment, I'll unpack them all and then I'll show you. And here they are. You may look at them and think, oh, it's no big deal, what's he getting excited about? Yeah, I suppose I'll make some of yous right, but these are the small details. Yep, it's a bit premature as well, I know I've got to finish everything, but I like to get stuff like this so when it comes to finishing I've got them all. They're bracket, it's just simple brackets for a shelf. But what's so unusual about them is I've never seen them in this form. Fleur-de-lis. Now the description of the listing that I bought them off said they come from a chateau, an 18th century chateau, so yeah, that fits in with their age. So yeah, just simple elements to put a shelf up, but when you're below it you see them. You know, quite unusual to find these. I've never seen them before, so yeah, a bit geeky like that, but all these small details will make so much difference once the cottage comes close to completion. Yeah, looking forward to using them. Not quite sure where I'm going to put them yet, but I've got 4 smaller ones, 2 larger ones. Clean them up, not over restore them, just wax them. A bit of wire wool, a nice oak shelf on top, preferably, you know, maybe in the kitchen with some copper on. You know, I've got a few copper pots, so yeah, just really excited to get them. Simple things, simple minds. Okay, right, let's put these to one side. So remember I was saying about the first step here. Now it's not that far away from here actually. Just come to here, this is what I've got earmarked. Yep, still raining. Is that one there? Now I have sort of concreted that in. I think I'll just set it on a bed so it should come out, but I've measured it. It's about the right width, so that's at least one of them. I could always make it up with 2 individual stones. Now the other area, yep, you guessed it, is in there. Now this is very swampy through here. I've actually designed all the runoff water to go around here. It's kind of like a a bog garden, and the idea was, or still is, you can see the water there. I did start last year making a stone path, secret stone path through there and then across here to there. Still going to do that, but this area's got away from me and it's really overgrown, and there's some lovely big stones in here. So yeah, it's not ideal to do it now, but at least if I can locate them. I really feel like I need to find these stones. I think I'm going to strim this just so I can see what's here. Here goes, I'm going in. Well, I think I may have located some. Let me show you that secret pathway that I'm just uncovering. Okay, we're going in. Yeah, it's a bit swampy. If you know where to walk, you're alright. Okay. Here we go. Now this is the start of the secret pathway down. And it takes us down into the bottom of the dell, which is looking, well, pretty good, but pretty overgrown at the moment. It's kind of the look I was going after, like a jungly type feel, so we've definitely got that. Okay, let's just trim this last bit. Now, not going down too low because there'll, you know, possibly be frogs and that lower than the stone, so as long as I can see the tops, which I can. Yeah, I think we've got quite a few candidates around here, which is great. I thought they would be here. Right, let's see how far we can get with this path. It's going to be rather enchanting, don't you, once it all grows around here. A lovely stone step down into the dell. And there's a very interesting stone just there that come out of one of the cottages. It's the cantilever bracket that holds a fireplace up, so I thought I'd use that as a feature stone there. Wow, that's really exploded with growth inside there now. Oh, look at the peaches. Wow. That's the first year that's fruited, that peach tree. It's got absolutely massive. Look forward to eating those. Okay, I'm not going to trim this area down because it's full of foxgloves and other pretty flowers, but you get the idea. We'll cover this at another date, but for now, yeah, we'll leave that alone. But the main thing is I have found the source of my stones. That's a definite candidate. Doesn't matter so much out here if they're a bit more irregular and out of shape, so I can borrow a few from here. There's a few more in here as well, which I know about. So yeah, I think I've got enough to choose from. Now, last time I was in this area, it was constructing these steps just over here. Now, these lead, or will lead, to the end cottage, which is another restoration project. So these are a bit too big for inside, but that's what I've done with them. If you'd like to see the video where I've installed these, you can click here to see that video. Bye for now.